talking about listing a house. If you write 2 or 3 paragraphs about what to do when you're getting your house ready to put on the market, it's naturally going to have a lot of keywords in there that somebody who's getting ready to put their house on the market is searching for. So over time, those accumulate in the search engines, and it will give you more and more index out there, or content out there to be indexed. And because of that effect, companies that blog show an average of 55% more visitors to their site. These are statistics from HubSpot, which is a big inbound marketing company. They show 97% more inbound links, and inbound links are really important for search engine placement because that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, showing authority. I mean, you think about it, Google basically is just referring sites to us. If you're going to refer somebody to somebody, you want it to be something that's worth it. You don't want to risk embarrassing yourself. So within Google's algorithm are all kinds of things that they don't tell us that they build in, but one of them is how many links are coming into your site from sites that are related in some way to yours. Because that's almost like votes. If a whole lot of links are coming in to you from related sites or from articles that are related to your business, it's telling them that this site has something of value to offer.
It's like if you wanted information about the Washington Redskins. If you Googled the Redskins, you wouldn't want Google to bring up somebody on some random forum just saying they're a Redskins fan on the top result, because that wouldn't tell you anything. It would just tell you that guy is a Redskins fan. What you want is the Redskins site, maybe a local newspaper talking about Redskins stuff like that. That's what she means by authority.
Also, well, and this goes back to the first point, 434% more indexed pages. And, you know, when you do a blog entry, it shouldn't be long. It shouldn't be more than 250, 300 words. It should only be several paragraphs because people aren't going to read it if it's longer. But every single entry that you do creates another page of content with more keywords. Another interesting statistic, and I can't remember the exact number, it's either like 62% or 67%, visitors to a website, if they read content on the website itself, like in the main content area, and they read something on the blog, they trust the content in the blog area. I think it's 62% more than they trust the content in the regular content area. And that's because a blog is a person writing it, and they feel more of a personal connection with that person. Whereas the rest of the site, it's basically the company line. You know, they feel like the marketing company is out there and writing it. But a lot of big companies out there, the CEO blogs, you know, even Google, they have tons of blogs out there that their top people write. And so it's a really good way to connect with your clients and customers. But the other thing is when other bloggers pick up your blog entries, they might blog about it and then link back to you. And those create incoming links. And I can tell you, I would say over half of our traffic, well over half of our traffic comes from our blog on our site, and we don't even, you know, the cobbler's kids have no shoes. We don't blog nearly as much as I would like to because we're too busy helping other people, but it really does make a difference. And the other month I was doing some research for a client and looking for some statistics, and one of the phrases that I Googled, it came back something like over 26 million matches, and we were number 8 on the first page, strictly because of one blog entry that I did over a year ago that was 2 paragraphs long. And it wasn't even something, I was doing it to provide my client an incoming link. It wasn't like any kind of in-depth article. If I had tried to get to number 8 out of 26 million, there's no way I'd ever get there. But that goes back also to search engine optimization. You're much better off with the long tail of the curve, which they, you know, you have the names that have the ton of results up here. Like in my case, it would be website design, or in Scotty's case, it would be real estate agent. But the ones that there are fewer searches for, there are a whole lot more of those words. So blog entries help you optimize your site to be able to match up with all of those long tail search engine matches, if that makes sense. Probably not. Your eyes are probably glazing over. Okay, and this just ends the slides, and then we're gonna take some questions and talk, but just goes back to that we want you to start thinking about your marketing like this, because most people, they have a website and they put it up in there, they forget about it, and it just sits there. And the only thing worse than not having a website is having one that you never touch, and it's outdated, it looks really bad, because people think you don't care, and you lose credibility. But if you make it an integral part of your marketing, you can say printing expenses, not that you don't want to do printing, you still want to do that, but you want to do things that integrate together. And you want to print things like brochures, you want to try to target them so the content on it doesn't have to change as much. So for example, with a QR code, if you were to do a brochure and let's say for the IDA, they wanted a link on there for properties for sale. Instead of having the specific link, this long link embedded, they could have a link that never changes, put in this QR code, and they could just always replace the content on that page with whatever it is. And that way they don't have to constantly be updating this printed information because the URL is no longer correct. Anyway, questions?
Yep. One thing we did forget to mention is that for a lot of you who are new to social media, it's generally a good idea to start small, like maybe just with Twitter, or just with Facebook, or just with one thing. Because if you make too many pages on too many sites, you can get overwhelmed and end up not updating any of them, which makes them all essentially useless. If you don't keep them up to date, then you might as well not have them. Other than that,
yeah, get your feet wet with one, learn how to use it, and play around with that, and as you feel more comfortable, then branch out into another one. And you don't have to have a ton of followers to start branching out. The main thing is that you start feeling comfortable and start figuring out how you want to use it, because it's very personal. A lot of, especially big companies, they're trying to do a cookie cutter approach now where, oh, this is what you have to do. You have to do this, this, and this. That's not the way it is, and that's not what people want to see. You want your personality and your company's personality to come through in whatever you do, and that's the thing that's going to set y'all apart. Did you want to do that exercise?
Yeah, if everybody would just quickly write down what industry you're in on that index card there. Not everybody has a pen, so if you don't have one, if the other person could share. We didn't have quite enough pens, I don't think.
I think.
You're retired.
If I'm not, I'm out of here sooner than I'm already out of here.
We're doing good. Okay, sorry.
Do you need to invite people to start the conversation? Or will people naturally going to, if they have an account, they will, if they like it or they don't like it, they will do something like, since I'm with the Little Theater and I want them to talk about the show, do I need to make an announcement or something in our program saying, please tweet your thoughts, or will people automatically do that? Like, do I need to start the conversation, or will people start it? Or is there a...
It depends on what you're trying to do. A lot of companies will have like contests or something along, maybe not necessarily a contest, but some kind of campaign, like a hashtag campaign on Twitter. And it'll be like, tweet this with this hashtag, and we'll either retweet it or you could win a contest or something like that. And that's a good way to jumpstart conversations, get people talking about it, get it trending, which trending is something that's mentioned frequently on Twitter. Or you can just tweet about something and other people will start talking about it too. Or you can just wait and see if people tweet about it. And if they are, retweet them and just... That's why when we were talking about keeping up with what people are tweeting about you, searching like Halifax Little Theater or something like that, just keeping up with it, you can see what people are saying, and if they say something interesting, you can retweet it, and that jumpstarts the conversation. Or like I said, you can come up with a neat hashtag or a neat idea. Like with the Little Theater, you could say, tweet anything with this hashtag, and you can have a chance to win free tickets to the show. Or something like that.
Yeah, and especially because there's so many people involved in the Little